Hi there, welcome to a new episode on how to configure Dynamics GP in APPSeCONNECT. Dynamics GP or Great Plains is a popular ERP software for mid-markets that uses Microsoft SQL Server as a backend database server. It is a part of the Microsoft Dynamics suite and is installed on-premises to a local server. It is written in Dexterity programming language, which was a part of C in early 80s. Dynamics GP is not replaced in the latest Microsoft offering, but is expected to eventually be replaced with Dynamics Business Central Cloud. The support of Dynamics GP will continue to exist till 2028. If you are using Dynamics GP and wants to connect it with various other systems through APPSeCONNECT, this video is for you. Here we will guide you step by step to configure your Dynamics GP app in APPSeCONNECT to ensure seamless connectivity with GP from APPSeCONNECT process flows. To begin with the configuration, let's log into our APPSeCONNECT portal. And let's create a process flow using GP. Here I have created a process flow for adding shipment from GP to Shopify. Now let's deploy the process flow. Here I'm choosing the on-premises as I said earlier. And next to set up the connection. Now let's set up the connection. Here we need to configure our GP in APPSeCONNECT agent. Now let's navigate to our APPSeCONNECT agent and let's get into the configuration page. If you try to add a new credential for GP, you will see 5 fields which includes the server name. Here you should put the name of the server where the Dynamics GP SQL Server database is installed. The database name is the name of the database instance and customer number is the dummy value of a customer to check the connectivity. You can get the database name and customer name by navigating to Dynamics GP. So here if you click on user and company, you can get the name of the company from here. In the company login, the user ID will be your SQL server. It is mandatory to add a valid customer number from the mentioned company. Here, the SQL user ID and SQL server password are optional. If SQL server authentication is enabled, you need to put the user ID and password to authenticate. Now let's fill it up. See, I have filled up the credential. Now let's validate it. So we have here validated the credential. When you validate the credential, APPSeCONNECT uses a search on the customer number through the Dynamics GP API. If the customer ID is successfully retrieved, the credential will be validated by the agent successfully. See here, it has been successfully validated and I have already saved it. Now let's deploy our process flow. Also, there are prerequisites of eConnect service on the given server as our APPSeCONNECT agent uses this service to communicate with Dynamics GP. For instance, if the server name is GPSRV1, then it is mandatory for eConnect service to be there in user account, including all types of access permissions to build integration seamlessly. Now, let me select the Dynamics GP credential and the Shopify credential with it and next. Now next to finish the deployment. Tracker is showing the step-by-step deployment. See, it has been successfully deployed. Now let's execute it. We can view the snapshot and sync info from the environment. So till now we have considered if the Dynamics GP and the SQL server resides on the same domain server. But if they are configured on a different server, then just connect them and continue as I described earlier. Now there are more options to get the customer IDs for validating our agent. For that, you can log into the SQL server with a valid credential. And first here you will check whether your server, that is for us like GPSRV1, whether visible or not. Here you can see it is visible. In that case, if it is visible, just expand the database and check whether your database name is present over there or not. You can see the database name is present over here. So I'm just clicking on it and generating a new query for this. In new query, to mention the select star from RM00101 this query, and if you execute it, you will get the list of the customer. Just pick any one of them and validate the agent. Unfortunately, if you don't have any access to the SQL server, then also there is a solution. Get into your GP account and reach out to the customer under card section, where you can click on the lookup to select any of the customer ID and hence validate the agent using it. Still, if you face any issue connecting with GP, then it is recommended that you can check your eConnect service. For that, there is an open source tool to check this called XML document sender. Here, navigate to this XML document sender and click on the lookup of connecting string. You will view the connection string parameter section. Here you provide the server name. Now in the database, mention the database name, that is for us it was in Sing, and click on OK. This connecting string format is as same as connection request sent via our adapter. And from the XML file lookup section, let's view one of the XML document. That is select read customer by ID and click on Open. Now to check the eConnect service is connected or not, you need to replace this customer number with a valid customer number and just click on Send XML. If the response will be generated over here, then it means eConnect service is on. If you don't get that, it means your eConnect service is not working. So configure the eConnect service to continue the process. Hence our GP is connected. Now it's time to view how to filter data during transmission. For instance, if you want to get an order number for a specific customer or any specific invoice number, you need to configure the action using this eConnect process info under this RQ eConnect out type. And the filtered condition will be in this key and value pair. Now let's configure it. So for that, let's reach out to the configure filter section and expand the action filter. See here we have configured our action filter by the eConnect type available in our service, that is eConnect process info, and in the filter condition we have made the key value pair in this manner, that is for the outgoing true and the message ID is sales transaction. Like here it has been mentioned in the pair, that is the outgoing tag is true and the message ID is sales transaction. So this is the way we can configure our action filter by following the XML documentation in the eConnect document. Also you can mention the other filters like eConnect out, doc types, outputs like here, that is the doc type, output type, for list, by mentioning all this. So this is it. This is how we can configure our action filter. Now it's time to save the action filter. See, the action filter criteria has been saved, and let's get back to the process flow. Now after configuring the action filter, let's save it and deploy the process flow again. The on-premises is already mentioned, and next. Now next to finish the deployment. See, it has been successfully deployed. Now let's execute it. We can view the snapshot and sync info from the environment. As we have come to the end of the video, you have successfully learned how to configure Microsoft GP in the APPSeCONNECT agent. If you face any challenges, do let us know by commenting below. That's all for now. Thank you. Have a great day.